Steve Rode. You're back on the Penny Stupid Project podcast, and I'm here, as always, with my friend and partner Damon Day. Hello, Damon.
What's up, Steve?
Hey, man. We're back talking about a very hot topic. You had a great morning driving for Lyft, and you were applying a new strategy that I think fits perfectly in with this subject about treating your side hustle like you're on a job and earn like you run a business. Hey, talk about the last 24 hours on your Lyft experiment and tell us how that strategy really applies to what you learned.
Here are some facts.
Yeah, I did try something new this morning. I hadn't driven in the morning before, so I thought, what the hell, let's try it. They're offering bonuses. Let me be kind of strategic with my timing. So I got up at 4 o'clock this morning. And as Steve knows, I'm not an early riser.
No.
But got up at 4, was on the road at 5, had my strategy planned out, was focusing on hitting the bonus zones. And essentially, long story short, I had a great morning. I knocked out about $150 in just over 3 hours and got back home, which I drive usually around 40 minutes away from where I actually live. I was able to get back home to get my daughter to school, which was on my agenda for the morning. So I made about $150 before normally I would even get out of bed. And it was in stark contrast to what happened about 24 hours ago when I did a different experiment that we're calling Let Lyft Take the Wheel, where I'm essentially going to accept every ride, no strategy, no thought, just mindless, accept whatever Lyft sends me. And we'll do that for an 8-hour shift and see how it goes. I'm not going to spoil it on this one. We're going to edit that video. It was a doozy.
That's to come. But here's what I think that you learned from your experiment the other night and this morning was to think about driving for Lyft, to think about this side hustle more strategically about what is the best time for me to work, what are the best things that I can do, like accepting a bonus with Uber versus the bonus with Lyft, and think about it exactly like running a business, trying to maximize your return instead of working harder. And I think what I hear you saying, Damon, is that paid off.
What?
Oh, it paid off big time. I made just as much money in half the time, and it was daylight, and I was a little bit more comfortable in the neighborhoods that I was in. Let's put it that way.
All right, so let's talk about applying this strategy. If you're just going to start your first side hustle, you've heard about some great opportunity. Talk about how you think that people should evaluate side hustles, and if they really should sit down at first and think about what is my realistic income potential rather than what is something I can just do in my spare time.
Well, and that's kind of the premise of, the Penny Stupid Project, right? Let us kind of evaluate all this stuff for you. Let us fall on our face. Let us invest the time and invest the money and see if any of these things are actually worth it. Well, we know some of them are, but separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak, and find out what's worth it, what's not. But to evaluate it for yourself, to me, it really just comes down to opportunity cost. Everybody has the same 24 hours. So you have to figure out based on your situation and your life, what time you have, and what you need to make whatever you're going to do worth it, right? Because everything has an opportunity cost. You say, oh, I can drive for Lyft and I can make X. Well, if you're just sitting there watching TV in that time, it's not a very high opportunity cost threshold that you're going to have to cover with Lyft because you're going to make more money than you're going to make sitting there watching TV. But if you're trying to evaluate this side hustle versus this side hustle, now you actually have to do some research and look at it. And oftentimes you're going to have to try it because you can watch a million YouTube videos on this guy did this and this guy did that. And, I went out and my first day driving Lyft, I made $275. And I tell people that when I'm driving them around and almost every single one of them goes, no shit. Like they couldn't believe how much I made. And I'm like, yeah I made that much. And, $1,300 the first week, it was some serious money. Honestly, I exceeded my expectations. I mean, I didn't have specific expectations, but I made more than I thought I would make. So it's important that you look at, I'm driving in Phoenix. I'm clearly really good at what I do.
You've proven it with your Lyft and new Uber driving skills. Now, I don't want to ruin that surprise at all, but here's something that I think we both learned this week. We've talked about it, which is when evaluating a side hustle, if you're going to think about it like a job and like you're running a business, there was a thing that came up this week, Damon, and we did a little video on it about selling pictures of your feet. And it's one of these things that if you look into it...
But where did the idea come from?
Oh,
where did the idea come from?
It came from you driving Lyft. It came from one of your passengers.
Wow.
One of the passengers. I had the idea. That's the other great thing about driving Lyft is I have so many great conversations. I've made actually several good connections. That's like the other side of it. Over and above the money, there's other things that could come out of making connections with people in your area.
So
sorry,
when you're thinking about running it like a business, when you're driving Lyft, you're also getting strategic intelligence from the people in the back seat. And you have just learned so much stuff about what to do right, what to avoid, where not to go, and you're maximizing that side hustle. But here, let me throw one more thing in, that if you're thinking about a side hustle and you're using that job and business brain set, then things like selling pictures of your feet sounds easy. I got feet, I can do that. But when you think about all the other work that has to go into it when you research that opportunity, you got to do your own promotion. You have to deal with customers directly. You have to worry about your product being stolen by people downloading pictures and reselling them elsewhere. You have got to worry about keywording and tagging and uploading and all that stuff. That might not be something that you consider. You just think, I'm going to sell pictures of my feet. But before you jump in, before you spend a lot of time, before you jump in, you should think about it like a business and think about, what is my rate of return going to be? Damon, what are some other things that businessmen think about before they just jump in?
Well, you mentioned rate of return. You got to look at opportunity costs. You got to look at startup costs. What's it going to take to get this thing going? You got to look at potential regulations. You got to look at, what does the future look like? I mean, there's a bajillion things you have to look at when you're starting a business. And that's one of the nice things I'm liking about how this project is unfolding and what we're doing, where I'm at least the way we've started is I'm doing a lot of these things where you can just jump in, doesn't cost anything. You go get approved and you just go drive for Uber and you go make $100 tomorrow, right? And it's just like, hey, I need money, I can go do it. And you're not wanting to drive people around. So you're kind of you're taking the approach of some of the stuff that you're working on is more, almost more biz op type of things where you're not necessarily going to make money right away, but you're getting into it, investing the time, investing the money to see, is this something that has a high likelihood of paying off down the road? Is this something somebody should invest 6 months of their life and some money into doing or not? And to me, those are really, really important because, if somebody tries Lyft and they don't like it, doesn't work, they're not out anything. I mean, they're out a couple of days or whatever. But if they go, hey, we're going to do this FBA thing, we got this course and we spent $2,500 on this seminar and we're going all in and we're going to get the software, we're going to do all this stuff. Well, before they know it, they're 6 months invested in this thing. And maybe it's not working out the way they thought it would because they didn't have any real world experience with it. And they're 10K deep and 6 months out. And now they're, in for a penny, in for a pound. And do I just scrap the whole thing? Do I keep going? And that's something that I think when you're doing things like that, or we're doing things like that on this project, I think that's going to be really valuable for people so they can see us and whether or not, hey, is this something that's going to work? And that can help shortcut that decision-making process for a lot of people. If we look at it 15 different ways and we're like, there's no way to make legitimate money that we know of, but if somebody who is a guru can point us in the right direction, we're happy to take the feedback. And if no gurus show up with their courses like, hey, I can show you, that might tell you what's really going on with all these courses on whatever it is that side hustle is.
That's right. If this sounds interesting, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment to the channel, just because we want to boost the channel. We need your help to do it. So please, thank you. So work like you're on a job. Now, this comes down to that entrepreneurial spirit that you can't just try once, give up, sit down on the couch, and change the channel. You and I both, when you're going out right now and test driving for Lyft or Uber and doing this rideshare thing, or I'm sitting here learning a new piece of software and strategy and a way to do something. I mean, we're putting hours and hours into this in order to get it right. Learn what you're doing to get it right. Another critical key component, I think.
Correct answer.
Yeah. Like, and I don't remember the exact circumstances because the days tend to run together. I've been so busy lately, but it was the other day, right, where I had like a horrible day driving for Lyft. I can't remember the circumstances. I'll have to go back to the video, go back to the tape.
I remember.
But I remember I did like not the one where I let Lyft take the wheel. I mean, right before that.
No. Before that, yeah.
I had a day where I only got like 2 rides, right? 2 or 3 rides. I was out there for, I think, like 4 hours. I got 2 rides. I made $40 or $50, and I was like totally bumming, right? And I was telling you, like, I'm so glad this wasn't my first day driving, because luckily I had 2 weeks already under the belt where I made great money, and so I knew this was more of a fluke. But if that had been my first day, I could totally see how a lot of people would say, F this sucks.
Right.
I'm out here in my car for 4 hours. I made $50 minus gas. I think I figured out I made like $5 an hour that day, and I finally just gave up. And I think it was like later in the evening. It was during the week, so it wasn't a great time anyway, but previous week I had made money during that time. But anyway, I was kind of defeated. But then the next day I got up and I killed it again, right?
Right.
So I don't even remember what your initial point was on that, but I know that story fit.
The point is, you just have to, put away those losses. It's like if you're a professional athlete, right? You got to put away that loss and then just have the fortitude to just go right back at it again. But speaking of fortitude, that doesn't mean you stick doing the same damn thing that's not working for you. And that certainly doesn't mean, do something different, but keep moving. Activity breeds opportunity. And that also doesn't mean that if you've got a friend or someone you know that's trying to talk you into investing $5,000 into some sure thing, don't do that. Do your homework first. Think about it like a business. Like Damon said, what's my rate of return going to be on this? What's the likelihood of success?
And,
all right.
And I feel in the interest of true transparency, should we tell everybody why we're even talking about this specific title, since we're all about being transparent? How did we come up on this topic 5 minutes ago?
Oh, well, because we used a piece of software that said, this is going to be a winner on YouTube, and we shall see. Even this video is a test. That's how dedicated we are to the Penny Stupid Project.
So do us a favor, since it's a new channel, if you found us, just put a link in the comment. Tell us how you found us. We're curious, because with this, Steve got the software. The software said this specific title is the title that you should talk about. So
right now,
we started with the title and
now.
Yeah, he did. We can do it right now. And like within 10 minutes, we were doing this channel. So I'm just really curious to see if this helps get any traction. So if you did some kind of a search related to what was it? Work like you're on a job and earn like you're in a business.
This is the exact title. This is what this is going to be titled, because the suggestion is work like you're on a job, earn like you run a business.
Awesome.
Yeah, so please, if you see this, you're one of our 65 subscribers. That won't really count because you're probably seeing it because you're a subscriber. But if you're not a subscriber, leave us a comment. Just let us know, did you find this on a recommended video? Did you actually do a Google search on something, and what specifically were you looking for? And if we didn't address it, which we probably didn't because it was very vague, let us know in the comments, what information you're looking for, or maybe you're looking at a side hustle that you want us to try out for you. Just let us know in the comments. We'll be happy to check it out.
Yep. So applying the logic that we are telling you about here.
Thank you.
Besides testing the software, that's exactly what we're doing. We're testing a piece of software that has a recommendation. We're testing it for little to no cost, seeing if it works. And if it doesn't work, it's not worth the investment. We're going to move on. But if it does work, we found a winner. So thank you, Damon, very much for the 10 minutes and the test. And thank you for your view. Like, subscribe, comment, do something else. Ring a bell. Ring the bell.
Yeah. And the YouTube channel, that's even a side hustle we're testing out. What does it take to grow this channel? we'll see. What are we at? 65 subscribers in 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Hey.
We're not getting the million view video, the viral video that some people do, but that's just a very small percentage. Hey, we're cranking out a video a day is kind of what we're doing, and some will win, some will lose. So what? We're just going to keep.
Well, wait till I put out the video where Lyft had me picking up a prostitute. There's one for you.
Lyft, take the wheel.
Tease. No, that was prostitute. Jesus take the wheel on that one.
Which was the tease, the prostitute or the video? I'm not clear.
The video of.
Okay.
And I didn't pick her up. I bailed like, and it wasn't because it was the overall circumstances. You'll see, it was not good. I'm a hell out of here. Bye.
All right. Bye.